happening, world? What's up, Glass City?
Westbound in this motherfucker.
We here now. We here now.
You know, always seeing niggas doing they thing, nigga. Huh?
Niggas know I was made, but still, they wanna fit it into I put these hands on them, like in blaze of steel. You and your man don't bust cage for real. Nigga from my block, train like Pakistanians, raised to kill. I guess y'all ain't gon' respect the T. The T tied down to a train track, and the Amtrak disconnects the knees. Get out the glass in the next to eat. This is the plexity. Respect the streets, dog, or rest in peace. This westbound do I die.
What it do? This your boy, man. Like to send shots out or well wishes out to your boy, Robert Easter Jr. E.Ali, man. You know, just heard yesterday the brother got shot down in Cincinnati. Looked it up on the reports from the Cincinnati police. They keep saying alleged robbery, wherever the fuck that mean. But nevertheless, sending well wishes to the young brother E. If you get wind of this, man, hopefully you have a speedy recovery, you know, and you can get back to the action, man. You know, in my opinion, I always said you had $1 million jab. It's just some of the other things you got to develop to capitalize on that jab that'll put you at the top, B. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, just hopefully you, you know, I know you definitely learned the lesson. I know you're a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it wasn't no backdoor shit going on down there with your boy, Broner. Because I would think that being that it's his city, that he'll have a little bit more insight and knowing what the fuck it is and the temperament of the city. You know, and being able to advise you to stay out of certain areas. So hopefully, you know, they come up with some answers, man, you know. However, you know, that's them some of the issues in which Holy ToLe'Do would like to address. You know, those some of the topics in which we need to, you know, have conversation about, you know, gun violence, inner city violence, you know, the political term in which they try to use to or cause separation, the black on black crime, you know. Then they hit you with, you know, Black Lives Matter. Then why doesn't Black Lives Matter to black folks? They do. We talk, that's a different issue. Police, state-sponsored violence against its citizen, per se, individuals having trouble or having problems within the city, they settle on their beefs in the street. In most cases you have robberies and things of that nature that went wrong. You know, for the most part, you have a lot of these young guys' temperament fighting over girls, you know, shooting each other because this dude messing with this broad or that dude messing with this girl or whatever. That should be nothing to lose your life over. But yeah, just to talk about the issues, you know, still waiting for information so that we can look at that topic of the brother going down there stunting, showing off his gold and shit like that, or not showing it off, just wearing it. You know what I mean? And you're seeing it in some places you can't do that nowadays. You know, we living in desperate times. You understand? And a lot of that's gonna happen. You know, we've seen on the news, man, where you had these smash and grabs out in them big cities like California and all that. People going in spots, stealing, and, you know, up in Chicago. That's a nucleus. That's a small indication that things are going to get bad and worse. So therefore, if you're not from them cities, like, you need to definitely be careful wherever you go, flashing and showing out, because somebody's watching. You know, they can easily follow you through social media nowadays and with your posts showing out in Florida. You know, you having a good time. Oh yeah, I've been here a week. I got another week. Woo woo woo. Oh well, your house is open. You stunting like that, they know something is possibly in that house. And you've been gone a week. You stunting. They trying to figure out where you live at now. That's how it go. You know what I mean? You gotta be smart. Now, for them young brothers with them guns, you know, this whole podcast thing in terms of finding solutions to the problems in which we face here in Northwest Ohio, you know, we have to be intimate. You know, this is a family business, you know. So being that Toledo, we gonna have to treat Toledo like a family business. We gotta be able to be honest with each other and air out some of this dirty laundry. You know, we can always criticize the establishment. We already know, and it's historically, that they not gonna fund us in certain ways. They gonna give us this bullshit corporate education. You know what I mean? That's gonna perpetuate the same ideal. You know, that whites are on top and blacks are on the bottom. That's the basics of that education system. If you look at the book, read them and all that, that's all it is. It's to indoctrinate us or make us feel less than us, you know, less than. That's what that thing is designed to do. You know, it don't offer critical thinking, analytical thinking. It don't have you look at things in an esoteric type of way, a real deep, intimate way. You know? So, with that being said, you know, we have to be honest about what's going on in our community and in our schools. For it's a half and half. Half of it is on the administrators, the programs, the schooling and all that. The other half sit in our lap, our parenting, our participating in community things that strengthen the community, like church, going to the mosque, going to city hall meetings, going to the meetings that they might have at the library, you know? All of those things are people in that community to participate in so that we can define and come with a clear understanding and identify the problems so that we can better equip ourselves with good solutions. Then to be active and be able to, if that solution don't work, go to the next thing that we then figured out that possibly might help in certain situations. What I see the administration doing, just like recently they had this program over in the LaGrange district called Laser, where they target a certain area. But they didn't tell the citizens, like, for the most part, you could put it in certain areas and some people gonna hear that or get that and some people won't. But nevertheless went through that area and target an area in terms of with new enforced drug protocols but the thing was why don't you do that regularly? Like, that ain't something that you have to always set it up like we need grant money to perform this function. No, if you guys lived in that area, for the most part, you would possibly do that anyway. It's just about having a presence, the police presence. It's different from police presence and police harassment. You know, we definitely need strong police presence without the harassment, though. Like, you can do that. Like, we are, you know, we capable of performing such duties. Like, we go to war. Like, it's stories where, like, veterans go to war and shit, and they say they have more restraint. They didn't see how the situation then played out with cops and blacks. Cops shooting blacks. We seen how that then played out. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this. I know a different side of that. Like, I remember days when it wasn't no cameras. You know what I'm saying? When everybody didn't have a cell phone, wasn't no cameras on your house to record certain shit. So I seen that kind of police brutality. When they really didn't have no accountability in terms of pushing up on you, acting nasty, and they not being recorded, some of the shit that they would say. As a kid, like, here's a grown man running up on me, I'm 14, 15, and some of the nasty shit that they would say, bro. Some of the dumb shit that they would do, they were always, and this is how I know it's a culture. Back in the day, I say about at least 5 or 6 times I remember seeing cops put their fingers up in a position as if they had a gun and will shoot, will say like, I shoot, yeah, man, drive by, like as they drive by looking, the one in the passenger seat will always be looking like yeah, I want to shoot you, pointing his finger. We had nasty cops. We had one cop called, well, no, they just wasn't that. They had just names like Mr. Smith. They used to call this guy Batman. For the guys in the hood to know, old school cats, you young cats couldn't tolerate if Batman was on the scene. It was a real cop around here running around with that rep. Chase your ass down. While you running fast and get to running, and he got a slow pace. He jogging, but he stand close enough to keep his eyes on you, cause he know you gonna gas out. Unless you was just, like with me, for instance. I was a track star, so I ain't never get caught by the cops in terms of nothing. Anytime I done ran, it wasn't that, because I was athletic. But however, the things in which we face, the thing that we really gotta look at our community at is our parental guidance, our parental skills. Not just our rights. We already familiar with, everybody know their rights. But I'm talking about, do you know your responsibility? That's the thing. We know your rights as a parent. You can come into this school all day, every day, yelling, acting a damn fool, acting stupid as fuck, not understanding that it's a paradigm. So it's like, we gotta, as a parent, as a school, just take this relationship. A parent should have enough to know that the school primarily is not against that child. In some cases, you might have a teacher that's an asshole and she might need to be checked. But primarily, the school is there designed to educate. So now, if your child is in his right mind and behaving within the constraints of the school rules, or doing everything that he or she need to be doing, was asked of them. When they being told to do something, take them 2 and 3, 4 and 5 times for this teacher to keep saying the same shit for this person to get it. So if your child is one of those persons that you can say, hey, and they stop, then we're not talking about you. This is not about someone who can follow the rules. We talking about those kids who got an attitude, like they mama. See, one of the one things in which we facing now that's unbelievable for me, that's new to me, is this privilege thing. This thing where individuals think they have a certain privilege on others, or a certain privilege to act a certain way in certain settings. The only privilege you have to act an ass is inside your own bedroom. You occupy with the bed that's your room. You can act however possibly you want. It's upon the rules of your parents, how nasty and rude you want. You can be that. But once you step outside of that room, little boy, little girl, grown ass man, ignorant ass man, dumb ass woman, grown ass, whatever. Because some people, grown folks, don't even know that. But soon as you walk outside of that room, you must be responsible for everyone else. You must consider other people now. You are in the world, and everybody matter. Everybody. So now, when you go to school, and if you didn't go to sleep, because your parents, this about parenting right here. A lot of these issues that we have at school is this new wave or this new age of parenting. where young black folks think they have a certain privilege to be nasty, rude, I know my rights, I know this, I know that. You don't know shit. For one, you should know how to act and how to, if you knew something, you should know that you shouldn't be sitting up there talking that shit in front of this kid, giving them the power to think that they can come in here, act like you. You do not run shit. Even if you are an asshole ass parent, you put your kid in a bad space because now they really don't like them. Now your child is really not liked. Like, people got to understand, some kids are not liked. Like, come on. You can have a kid that's unruly and rude as fuck. You ain't going to like that person. Don't nobody want to be around that person, despite it's a child. So the one thing is to put these kids, to let them have their electronics. Hold on, let's establish with parents, like those who don't know. You must put your kids in bed at a decent time. If you one of these parents that's going to sleep before your kids 7, 8 o'clock or whatever, and then hope that they get into bed, they're not. As a parent, before you lay your cool ass down to go to sleep, your kid should already have been asleep an hour before you start feeling tired. So if you start feeling tired at 7, 8 o'clock, then damn it, they need to be in the bed by 6 o'clock then. That means y'all gonna have an early morning, or early day. Ain't no way you should be going to bed at 6 o'clock and hoping they get in the bed at 9. It's not gonna happen. But nevertheless, if you start feeling tired, whatever time that is usually, because you almost fall asleep at the same time for the most part. So if you are if you know an hour before you starting to feel woozy and sleepy, it's time for them kids to get in bed. By right, kids should be in bed no later than 9 o'clock on a school night. And that's pushing it. Any kid that's up at past 10 o'clock, you dead wrong. You need your ass whooped. How do you expect them kids to perform and to be mentally alert if they don't get their rest? That's one thing we know, kids need their rest. Plus, I don't want you sending this grouchy ass heifer to my class. I don't want that. I don't want a grouchy ass kid mad because he had to be here because he didn't get enough, she didn't get enough sleep. As a parent, you are dead wrong to do that teacher, to that school system, to Toledo Public School, whatever, what have you. You know? But definitely, as parents, we have to take half of this shit that's going on, it's on us. And it start in terms of our perception, our reality, what we think is right, what we think is wrong. We don't have no rights. We don't have the right to be assholes. We shouldn't keep looking for handouts. Annually, in this country, African Americans, black folks, Negroes, black and brown people make enough money to fund their own education as a whole. It's a 5-year process if we get off this dumbass shit chasing for the most part it's crazy when you get broke folks in a town like this chasing, wanting to be rappers, wanting to live that lifestyle above your means. A lot of us do that. A lot of us do that. And this is my thing. We have to have financial goals set up in terms of expectations and things, accomplishments. Like we should have things set up like goals. Fern, that's like, how much, for instance, what age do you think in this town you should be able to purchase your house? Somebody that's single, if they started work at 18, by the time they 25, if they plan things out and worked hard enough, they should be owning a house in this town. Shit like that. making investments in the city or making investments in your community that so that you can care. If you own that house, you'll possibly care about that yard. You know, you'll possibly care about the little boy down the street because you don't want him growing up and possibly climbing in your window. You know, we don't want that. So, but again, we have to be responsible as parents. You know, this 50% of this falls on us. You know, what are you telling your kids? You know, you sitting up doing TikTok booty dances with your babies and shit. You know, buying Jordans, buying the latest Jordans every time they drop. You know, getting the latest iPhone. You know, the P5. You know, desperately trying to get those things. Rocking the latest in fashion, trying to keep up with that. And meanwhile, are you helping this same child that you buying all this stuff for? Are they getting rewarded because something from school? Or are they just getting it because you trying to keep them in the fad? Now, as a parent, if you trying to just keep them in the fad and you ain't making because to make that kind of investment, when they gonna grow out of them shoes and shit, and they don't have no value after that, them clothes don't have no value after you put your ass in them and get the farting in them jeans, they ruin. It's over. Them $100 shits ain't $100 no more. When you could have possibly bought some stocks or something. You know, you can buy other things. You can make it, buy a book. You know, that's one thing the parenting around here in terms of we don't make a real strong investment in education. We buy all the stuff. We keep them. You know, we keep this system going with buying all this stuff. You know, commercialism. You know, after so much, for instance, like they drop a new Pelly every year. I just spent $1,200, $1,500 on the one last year. How is it old? It's leather. Leather don't wear out like that. But then you trying to cop the new Pelly. You'll come in a spot and motherfuckers be like, that's old Pelly. Man, that's an old Pelly. That was last year. That was $1,500, yo. What you mean? You know, that crazy mentality. You know, you can't have that parenting and commercialize your children on buying stuff and focus on that, studying education. Like, that's some of the problems we have around here. Everybody want to be Gary Hill. Everybody want to be sweet. Fresh to death. To go where? To go no, ain't shit to do. Wait, what the fuck you getting all dressed up to do what? I can see you. I know you feel good. You want to feel good and you should. Put on your, but that ain't something that we teach our kids to be so consumed about. We're trying to be fly and go to school. When you so fly, you go to school, but this motherfucker can't read. Like, what kind of shit is that? Little Donnie can't read. He fly as hell. He got the latest Jordans. He got the earrings popping and shit, but he don't know nothing about nothing. Cool as fuck. He can do all the he bad on the hoop court, but he can't read and write. He don't know how to spell his name. He don't even know the fucking address. He don't even know his address and shit. Like this kind of shit, like. So it's parents, man. 50 of this, 50-50, man. Half on us. You know, we gotta do better on our half, especially around here. Like Toledo is somewhat culturally retarded. You know, we don't do some things that's progressive, like knowing some things, like we still stuck in like the Stone Age on certain shit. You know, we do shit backwards as fuck. It only take 20 minutes to get anywhere around this town, and you'll have motherfuckers running red lights and speeding down Detroit Street like they nuts. Damn near doing 80 down Detroit. You ain't going nowhere, bro. Fast. Plus the red light gonna stop you. Then they'll get to the red light on on sometimes on Detroit and Delaware and run that joint. B, where's the fuck you going? Ain't shit that urgent. If it is, leave a little bit early so you don't hurt nobody. Like, I don't get it, B. You know? But like, again, a lot of this shit has to do with how we perceive things, our expectations. You know? We definitely should put, this is a family business. That's how we should look at our city. This is a family business. We too close knitted not to be familiar and to deal with one another. You know? They got us running with our heads cut off, trying to chase the bag, trying to have the latest, trying to keep us in with the latest, and all the time spending money for what, man? I get it, you know, you work hard, but you should work hard now while you young so you can chill when you old. Like, that's the whole thing about working hard. That's the whole, we gotta switch our mentality up in terms of what is work. You know? But definitely as this parent thing, like, that's us. Like, we cannot rely on Toledo Public Schools to educate our kids to be scholars and doctors. They're not there. It's not designed to do that. That's the prison pipeline. You know, they didn't dummy down the education way down. The expectations of kids and foreign as being this looking at the technology, being that we on a global scale now. That education do not prepare you for the 21st century. It's outdated. From K through 8, we should be focused on behavior, how you conduct yourself, math, reading, writing, and science. That's all it should be. How do you treat people? How do you act? What's misbehaving? One of the key books, and it ain't a religious thing. This is not a religion thing. But one of the key books in the Bible, I think everybody should have to read. Everybody should have to read is the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs tell you intimately what to seek, what is right, it identify the people who are wrong. It's gonna point out the people on the right and the people on the left. That's one thing I know about that book. Everybody should have to read and study that book. You know, to know what is expected of you, and that everybody know when you're not doing what's best for the overall, or the best for the whole. Yeah, you can be selfish and you know, for yourself, yeah, you gain the world, but you lose everybody. You lose yourself and your family in that. That's not honorable. But definitely as parents, like, we cannot keep supporting the bullshit and selling this bullshit ideal to the kids that their privilege and that their rights supersedes everybody else's rights. Your rights are small to the rights of everybody else. You know? So with that being said, man, this is your boy E.Ali, a.k.a. Mudbone, the city marshal, shining light on the problems, man, trying to find solutions to the many problems in which we face here in Northwest Ohio.